Hi, this is Accidental Rebbetzin, and today I want to give you a few guidelines on how to help a friend who is going through postpartum depression, or what we call PPD. Postpartum depression affects 1 out of 5 women that just had a baby, and it is a temporary depression where the mother feels that she's a bad mother, she feels trapped, she feels depressed, she feels fearful. Basically, she feels horrendous and terrible at the time that should be a happy time in her life, or one of the most happy time in her life. She feels absolutely horrible. And if we look around, if we know women that had babies, and if we visit them or talk to them, it might be easy to spot who has depression. And my video now is to give you a little bit of guideline or ideas how to help your friend. So first of all, it is important to help her realize that what she's going through is an illness, and we don't know how long it's going to last, but we do know that it's a temporary illness and it will pass. And it might be very hard for her because when she's depressed, she feels that depression is right here settling in and it's never going to get better. That's part of the depression. You don't feel that you're going to get out of it, but it is important to remind her that this is temporary and she's going to feel better. And therefore, a good advice would be to tell her to take it one moment at a time, because every moment that finishes and starts a new moment, it's another moment that brings her closer and closer to healing. And the depression is only going to last a certain amount of time, and it's not forever, and it's temporary, and it could happen to any new mother. So this is a very good point, I think, to make her understand that. And it's also important to tell her that she is a good mother, because per definition, the postpartum depression makes her feel that she's a terrible mother, that she's a worse mother, that she shouldn't have had that baby, and all kind of negative thoughts. And it's important to point to her that she's such a good mother. Her being fearful for the baby is part of her love for the baby, and she cares for the baby so much. And she has a lot of feelings and a lot of things, and it's important to point to her, look at the baby. The baby is so cute. The baby's smiling, looks happy, looks healthy, looks cherished. And the baby's not suffering. Your baby is happy. Of course, once the depression goes away, she'll be able to bond with the child in a much better way than right now. And as of now, since she's doing, hopefully the minimum for the baby is safe and the baby is okay. Of course, there are situations where it's extreme and medical treatment needs to be, taken. But let's just talk about depression that is like mild, and the woman doesn't need medication, or she's getting medical treatment or therapy already. And what more can we do to alleviate her from this difficult situation that she's in? Another thing is to try to tell her a lot of good things about her, and not to make her feel that she can just try harder or anything like that. That happens when people don't understand what depression is in general, and they think that they can just shake you out of it, and they don't realize that there is no way that you can shake the depression out and just have a normal day. This is not happening. If you have diabetes and your sugar is too high or too low, you can't just change your level of sugar in your blood. And this is the same thing. You have depression, you can just shake it off. So for us out there, we have to realize and to be understanding people going through something like this. This is not a choice. Nobody would choose to be sick. Nobody would choose to not have most beautiful time with your baby and bonding and enjoying that time of your life. It is a painful situation for her. And therefore, it's not a good idea to tell her something negative, trying to encourage her and telling her, oh, get out of it. Oh, it's okay. You could do it, or something like that. But for the mother herself, being that she has all these negative thoughts in her head, it is important for you to give her honest compliments, not tell her, oh, you look great. You look like you never had a baby, or, things like that. It's very artificial. But to point at the baby and say, wow, your baby looks really well taken care of. Even though she has depression, she's still doing the job. And any help that she can have is really the best. If you are able to help her so that she can get maybe warm meals, or maybe a little time out with her husband, a little bit of a sleeping time, like the lack of sleep is the most difficult thing after having a baby, even if there was no depression in sight, even just regular situation of having a baby and feeling okay. The exhaustion of not sleeping at night is so difficult. I remember myself, I had my first 4 children were like one after the other. So I had my fourth child when my first one was 3.5 years old. So they were like really, really close. And I remember sometime at night, my newborn baby would cry and he would sleep on a bassinet next to my bed, and I would like reach out and take the baby. And I knew it was my baby, but I couldn't remember for a few seconds. I couldn't remember if it was a boy or a girl and what was the baby's name, like my baby's name. I couldn't remember. I'll just like pick up the baby. I knew that it's my baby. I have to nurse the baby. And it would take a few seconds to down to me like, oh yeah, it's a girl, it's so and so. Oh yeah, it's a boy. We gave him that name. Just because of the exhaustion. So the exhaustion is very, very detrimental to your, well-being and functioning. And actually, anything you can do to sleep, tell your friend anytime she can rest, anytime she can sleep is really time where she's going to feel better. But also anytime where she can do something, as much as she's able to go out, or having, even if she's not able to go out, just staying home, having a nice bath, somebody watching the baby, and she can have a bubble bath for a few minutes, or someone can make her a massage or give her a massage, or if a friend can come and watch the baby, take the baby out and she can watch a TV show or just have a 20 minutes nap, anything. I remember when I had my first child, I did not brush my teeth for like, you don't want to know how long, because I was so nervous that if I go to the bathroom to brush my teeth, maybe something will happen to him. And I couldn't do that. I'd wake up at night so many times just to make sure that he was breathing. I was so nervous, so there's a lot going on. And, give her the time to speak and to express herself and ask her what is difficult. And if there's anything you can do to help her, that would be really wonderful. But above everything, one thing we all can do is pray for her and tell her, I prayed for you. I keep you in my prayers. And I hope you get well very, very soon. There are a lot of websites and organizations that can help. Postpartumprogress.com. In your area, you might have a group of women that help new mothers and deliver warm food, warm meals, dinners. Sometimes there are programs like high school girls do free babysitting. And, if she's not feeling that she can reach out and get help, so her husband, a good friend, can do it for her if she wants to, of course. And not to be afraid to ask for help, because if nobody is accepting the help, then nobody can give out the help. And then the world cannot stay without one of the three things, like we know, Torah, Avodah, and Gmilut Chasadim. So we need to be able to receive the chesed, because if not, nobody's able to give out the chesed. So we need to be able to accept the gift of it. Anything you can do to help is always good. And we have to pray for people that have such situation. It's a very, very challenging struggle. It's a time that should be a happy time, and you feel so bad about yourself and you blame yourself and you regret having the baby maybe, or chas v'shalom, or you regret your life. You think your life was better before you had the baby. You think the baby would be better with someone else or not you. All kind of crazy thoughts that go through your mind. And what's important to realize, it's just an illness and it will pass. And God willing, will pass very soon, and everybody should be happy and healthy babies, and everybody should get out of depression and just be able to feel the love of Hashem and gratefulness for everything we have.